live. There we go. Okay. Hello. Good morning. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another Two Kind of 12 FPS. My name is Dewp, DWP, and today I will be playing. You know them, you love them. They are very soft and very large and very horse-shaped and also very planty. I'll be playing Sol today, and my fellow wonderful partner who will be playing someone else. Would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hi, my name is Magic, and I I can totally words. Definitely,
That's
I am playing a middle schooler, by the name of Avery
good.
Ishii, who is totally fine with everything at all time. Nothing strange with this man
Just a
whatsoever.
kid.
It's just a
It's
child.
just a kid.
Just a child.
Just a little child.
It's just a.
Nothing suspicious at all going on with this kid. They are just a kid.
Yep. Nothing sus whatsoever. Anyway, um,
Cool.
so
So, go ahead. Sorry, what you saying, Magic?
wait, did you have an idea how to start this out? Because I also had an idea of how to
Yes,
start this out.
I do have an idea. I've had you. Don't worry. I've got you covered, like. Um. So, basically, how this starts is well, it starts kind of as a routine in which Lao wakes up in the morning and squints at the. Once he has actually managed to get like a couple hours sleep tonight, he just kind of squints at the large window where the sun is barely just poking through the curtains he's set up. And with a grumble, he gets in his chair, moves over, takes the lift up to the top of the apartment building he lives on, upon which sits his wonderful greenhouse. If you don't know what this is about, probably listen to Soul and March's FPS. That was a fun one. But yeah, he's got a greenhouse on the roof. And he's going in to check everything over, wake up Soul, make sure everything's all right. And first of all, I should probably roll perception for him real quick. Let me see. Where is your perception? Nope, that's the wrong sheet. Why? This is why. This is why you should have just one sheet at a time, really. Wow. Okay, it's not large. That's fine. This is just to see how long it takes him to notice. 15. Okay, so he has to blink the sun out of his eyes a little bit, but immediately he notices half of his shit is gone. Soul's not there, which isn't unusual. Soul kind of just goes in and out as they please. But he is going just kind of sit there and blink, then turn around, head back to his lift, go back down to where it leads to his bedroom, head through his bedroom into the hallway and then into the living room where we find our lovely huge plant horse baby just taking a good old nap on the bush sofa, and Lao is just gonna poke them and say, Sol, Sol, get up. And I'm gonna real quick con. Where you at? You are. What's your con, baby? Just a flat D20. Okay, that's a skill. Um, it it takes Lao probably a little bit to wake them up. Well, after a few pokes, at the side does nothing. Lao just fine and does the old technique of very gently, just like how you can tickle like a dog's pads or a cat's pads to make them twitch. So Lao's gonna do that, but he's gonna just very gently take one of his fingers and just from the dip of Soul's chest up their neck to the bottom of their flower head, he's just going to very gently trail the finger up. And as soon as he reaches like the bottom of the head, Soul jolts up with a start. Poof! And I was going to say, yes, all right, yes, I know. I'm very sorry for startling you, but consider for me, Soul, were you upstairs last night? And Soul shakes their head, and Nell says, right, that would explain why half of our inventory is missing. I need you Yes, you. And as he says that, Sol's just kind of very slowly daze their head over towards where the kitchen is and where they know the sippies are, because they know that the sink makes sippies. But Lau's, Sol, no, listen to me, listen to me. And Sol snaps her head back to attention. Um, I need you to go and find who took the plants, Sol, and when you come back, not only will I give you your breakfast, he smiles, and I'm gonna roll hammer space. He smiles and he reaches under the blanket on his lap, and then he pulls out what looks like a little bottle of honeydew, and he dangles it in front of Sol by two fingers and says, "Not only will I give you your breakfast, I'll give you something a little sweeter as well. How about that?" And the minute Sol sees this, they perk up, wing out of the bush, and I need to make an intelligence save. Um, are you going to go the way you usually do, my dear? Oh, why do you have a plus to that? That's strange, but okay. I'm used to you having a minus.
Are you looking at the correct sheet?
I am looking at the correct sheet.
Huh.
Yeah. When did you get that? Oh no, that's a check. You know what? It should be a check. It should be a check, not a save. Okay. So looks like they're about to jump out of the window, but then just very calmly just no, puts their hand and root back down, turns neatly towards the door, waits for Lau to open it for them, and then out they go, and they're off. Here we have to probably roll survival to see how long or how well it takes for them to get a grips of where they're supposed to go. That's a 17. Hey, Magic, I'll leave this up to you. How well would you think that your character has your middle schooler has left any trails for Sol to follow?
Noting that's a 17, I would say there are decently a few trails that you can notice. None of them are very obvious because I do look at that roll that started all of this at being a nat 20. Anyway, uh, it was I can definitely words. There's like a few plant bits like here and there that Soul recognizes. Maybe some like I don't know, like specialized dirt. Like
Oh yeah.
special for some certain type of plants that have been nicked. And it
Considering, sorry, continue.
it winds throughout the city, in and out, back and forth. It's kind of everywhere. But there is like a sort of trail. It's kind of hard to tell at some points because sometimes it loops back on itself and then goes back, and you ended up at a school at one point.
Oh, at the end of the school, I need to make a whiz save. Give me a sec. Because for those of you that know Soul, you know they really like kids. Team. Again, they kind of walk past the school and they look in and they see all the kids having fun, and they just kind of instinctively trot over and put the first two of their rooty limbs to begin to climb the fence, and they stop. They're like, no, no, I'm on a mission. I cannot. And they very sadly and slowly put their little front legs down. Their petals droop a little sadly, looking at the school before shaking their head and continuing on.
um, Luckily, you don't have to worry for long, because you do come across another kid, during the middle of your investigation. Um,
Ooh.
this child, who looks probably early teenager, who is most definitely skipping class, is in, uh, hmm, hmm, is my description too fast? That is the question.
Roll perception if you
Yeah,
like.
roll perception.
Let me see. Oh, you're the one with the better mod. That's why I got confuzzled.
18. All right. You eventually do enter an alleyway where this this sort of plant trail has been like leading up to, and you see there's this alleyway is kind of like dark, a little dingy. It's it's lit on both sides, so it leads between two different streets without interruption. Um, and there's maybe like a back alley sort of like shop here. There's like faint jazz music playing, but the main thing of interest is what seems to be a middle school child, sitting in front of those like little gotcha machines?
Yes.
Um, they're sitting in front of the gotcha machine, currently sort of like rattling it and like taking out more coins to like put in the machine and like get a new thing and then like open it and see what it is and placing it next to a very small pile where they already have like a bunch of gotcha tokens already there. Hold on.
Okay. Go for it. That's fine. Hello, everyone. Magic has had to go and do something for a bit, so it's just me. I'm very sorry. I know, it's horrible, it's awful. You are at my mercy at the moment, and unfortunately, my mercy has run out. I have never once in my life played the game that Mercy is in. I don't even know what game that is. I know someone here may know what that game is, but I don't
Hello?
know. But either way, hello.
Hi. Sorry,
I was just rambling. You're good.
someone was messing around with glassware downstairs and I thought someone knocked at my door, so anyway. Yeah, and you see this middle school child who is definitely skipping class.
Cool. I am going. No. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. Can I roll stealth and then you roll perception?
Stealth. What is my perception? My perception I don't think is terrible. Hold on.
Okay, let's
My
have a look.
page, Oops. That's 21 though.
Yeah. So you see a shadow come over you, and you notice this shadow coming creeping over you because it just slowly starts from the back of your head, and as you're like reaching to open a very tough like gacha capsule, or you're like trying to unscrew it, you can see the shadow kind of cast over your hand. And I'm gonna roll something here. I'm gonna roll intimidation, not because they're trying to, but because they are a giant, tall creature that has suddenly appeared behind you. That's an 8. Okay.
I think.
Okay.
No, go ahead and do your description.
So yeah, you turn around and you're expecting to see this giant looming thing above you, and it is very tall. You do also hear a coming from them, and you kind of. Okay, so to describe what Sol looks like, Sol has a giant sunflower head that's got like a very long green swan-like neck that leads to a very large, round, green horse-shaped body. They've got long, rooty legs that end in like teeny little rooty, spindly, fingery thingamajiggies. They do sometimes have little flappy little green wings, which they do today, and they actually look like a plant called lamb's ear, which I will post in the chat for you, Magic, because they look. I want you to see what these look like. And they also have like a weird little bud slash sack thing on their tail, which you young person can see is now wiggling like crazy, and you can see the wiggling going from the behind up the sides of their outline through their neck into their head, and this whole thing is just kind of wriggling at you, and it's not very intimidating because perhaps you've seen animals do this, specifically dogs, when they're very excited. So yeah, you're not super threatened by this.
There's also another reason this middle schooler is not super threatened by this. I have to go roll, wisdom save with advantage for the fucker. That's an 18. There's like this middle schooler stares at Sol. There's like the slightest of a wince, and like there was a very like a ping of a headache. Inside of Avery's mind, I will say, there's a demon who is going absolutely fucking crazy. And Avery just kind of looks up, looks back at the token he was messing with, and looks back up at the plant thing and just kind of like waves raises a hand up and kind of like waves at it from where he's crouched down.
Um, you see one of the very rooty fingers slowly raise up, and you know how people do like the one finger at a time curly wave? Yeah, Sol does that with one little root at a time, just curling forward and down and then up again and curling forward and down and up again. It would be kind of creepy, except for the fact, again, it just looks like a giant happy wriggly dog waving at you, which is kind of neat in some ways. Um, and it is just staring at you though. It is just staring at you, and I might roll. Let me see. You said I saw Sol saw the fact they were fiddling with something, right?
Yeah, it's one of those like capsules that hold one of those like little like squishy things you can get from like from the gotcha machines. It's one of the like the squish ones probably, but he was having trouble opening the actual capsule.
Cool. I'm just gonna roll investigation quick. That is a 7. Sol has no idea what this thing is. They know it's a ball. Um, that's all they got. You just kind of feel this thing. Are you facing it, or are you still got your back turned to it?
I think like how I imagine is Avery sort of like crouched down and like sort of like turned like torso upper body to like face the creature.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna see this thing's head very slowly come next to your face and just brush past. And as you brush past, it's just like you get very soft petals brushing your face of the sunflower. And yeah, it just kind of is its head over your shoulder, down on what you've got in your hands, and it's just staring at it very intently.
Uh oh god, hold on. Avery. Oh, this is a puppy. This is a dog. Oh boy.
Is it a dog? Is it a cat? Is it a plant? Who's to say?
Avery. Avery. Avery.
What?
Oh
What was
boy.
that?
That was an intelligence to see if there was even a thought that probably should remove the thing first before throw. Because I will say there is a very insistent thing in the back of his head that's just like throw it, throw it, throw it, make the plant happy. I want to keep this thing. And Avery takes the gotcha ball and tosses it gently down the alleyway.
You know, you know what? I'm not gonna roll a whiz save. Sol's head is gonna track that ball, and I'm gonna make an acrobatics roll. I want to see what do you do here, buddy? Because if you beef it, 15. All right. So yeah, you softly roll this thing between Sol's legs, and Sol's head goes from your shoulder, lifts off, goes between their legs, and you just see them do like a weird. It's like their head stays parallel to the floor, and then the body just flips up into the air like a whoop, whoop, down behind them, and then they just with their head just level to the floor, and the rest of their body high up, they just tuck, 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 over to the wall, pick it up, and I'm going to roll something because let me see. I'm gonna roll one more investigation just to see if they can figure out there's something in here. And
That's
go ahead. Sorry.
that's an average. I mean, probably tell that there's something in there.
Cool.
Like a little dark
okay.
outline.
This is where the fun comes in then. Sol is gonna try and open this. Oh, Sol, baby! So, what I'm gonna say is this gacha ball is quite a smooth ball. And whilst Sol is usually very good at getting a grip on things and very smooth surfaces because rooty fingers, um, maybe it's just like your hands were sweaty or something when you were trying to open it, and Sol just keeps trying to like get a grip somewhere. You just see them kind of poof down on their rear, and they're just kind of turning this thing around and then just kind of like pulling at it with both of their little rooty fingers and tink 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 patting against it and trying to open it.
There's the, this middle schooler stares and just mutters to themselves, I don't know if they'll let us have a dog. I, I know. I mean, it doesn't have a collar, so I don't think it's like kidnapping. I don't.
Sol is paying no attention to this. They are too
Uh,
occupied with ball.
yeah. It's. You know what? Sure, why the fuck not? Avery stands up, and the middle schooler walks over, and sort of like holds out their hand to like take ball.
Roll persuasion.
Oh, persuasion.
Yeah.
Yes,
Roll
my
persuasion.
19.
Okay. Sol has been trying to open this ball for a while, and the petals on their head have started to droop a little bit again because they want in the ball, but they can't open the ball. And what happens usually is when they can't do something and they need something to be done, they usually turn to someone else to help them. And you come along and you just hold your hand out for this ball, and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, you were doing this, you can do this," and they just plop it into your hand and look at you very expectantly, and their little bud tail is just going against the floor. Any dirt or dust that was on it is just flaring up with how fast this tail is wiggling right now.
16. There's a little like Avery takes it with both hands, squeezes it together, twists it, and there's like a pop sound, and it's open.
When the pop happens, you just see the petals that were drooping just go perk right up, like, boom, and it's like you see like little exclamation lines come from between where the petals meet. It's just like boing, as the head just leans forward expectantly, and the of their tail wiggles even faster against the floor as they try and peer at what is inside of the ball.
I am going to roll just a flat d20. 15. Ooh, 15. That is a threshold. Uh, I will say Avery also has like a very delighted expression on this normally plain middle schooler's face. One of like like curiosity and sort a little bit of excitement because Avery cannot remember if he has this one yet, and he pulls out one of those little like very squishy figures. It does not look edible in any way, unfortunately.
I have
And
to ask, how gelatinous is it? Like you say it's squishy, but like how is it, like jelly? Is it solid?
I would say it's like squishy, like a gummy bear is squishy.
Mm,
Uh,
okay.
and like, Avery takes it out of the capsule, and it's decently sized. It's maybe like an inch and a half tall. I can totally do descriptions. It looks like a little frog man. Uh,
Oh,
which is purple and holding a staff and wearing a wizard's robe.
I love it.
and and Avery, if Avery was a toon, which they are not, there would be sparkles.
Um, Sol's just gonna like they're gonna do what they did before. They're just gonna like lean their head over Avery's shoulder and just pump their head against your shoulder. Avery, there is a weight against your shoulder, but despite the fact that this thing is huge, it's actually with the weight of its head resting on shoulder, isn't actually that heavy. But you can't tell if it's because it's holding its own weight or because it is just that light.
there's another sort of wince like they're getting a headache.
Could you
God,
also roll me a perception, please?
a perception.
Yeah. This would be for a
Uh,
few things, depending on what you roll.
13.
Cool. Okay. So what you will get from this, you will get there is a faint smell in the air, and hey, Avery, what's your favorite smell?
What is Avery's favorite smell? You know, I think it would actually be a mix of both their favorite smells. It kind of smells like that, like metallic of like coins. Uh, and also a bit like you've just stuck your face into a bush.
A metal bush. A bush
Metal.
that grows metal flowers.
Yeah, that's what it
Oh,
kind of smells like.
alright. So yeah, as Sol leans their head over Avery's shoulder and ponks it on, that's what you smell. And
Huh.
with the 13, I can't really give you this, unfortunately, because of reasons. But you will see that when Sol plonks their head onto your shoulder, something very, very small is moving in the pedals, but you can't quite see what it is.
Aww. Avery wants to investigate.
Investigate. Roll investigation.
This is mostly Pan being curious, but don't worry about it. Uh, just your local demon being like, that's neat. I want to know about this thing. Fortunately, that's a 10.
Yeah, with the 10, unfortunately, you can't find it. It's gone. Whatever it was is no longer there.
Aww.
At least it's not not where you saw it. You lost track. Um, but yeah, let me just roll something here because Soul is like one of their arms has probably just reached around you by now and is just very calmly like flicking this thing like boing, boing,
it
boing,
it gives
boing.
like, yeah, it gives that very satisfying like little wiggle noise, and it like jiggles afterwards.
Um, each jiggle, you feel like a little wriggle against your shoulder, like a little happy wriggle vibration as it goes from Soul's head down their neck through their body to their tail and back up again. They are a very wriggly plant at the moment.
Avery is going to pat the plant like.
Uh, the wriggles intensify.
Avery pats them more.
Uh, cool. You pat them more. The wriggles intensify even more. Avery, what was now just like kind of like a very gentle kind of movement against your shoulder, you can now kind of feel it in your bones. The vibration is that strong. It's just when tunes grab onto a jackhammer and you just get that outline going on. Um, it's like that, but soft and like happy wriggly line kind of deal. I will also say I need to roll something here because where is your thingy jiggy? Where is it? Cool. Okay, there we go. Oh no, I don't have to roll for that. Never mind. Okay, so what's gonna happen is you start petting them even fiercer, and they just kind of vibrate. And I'll go with your last perception. You kind of, with the vibration, you kind of hear like a and you to look down. The tail that was just sweeping madly against the floor, there is now a very polished spot in this alleyway compared to the rest of it. Maybe it was like a little grimy and gungy where like some of the dumpsters and stuff were, but there's just one spot on this alleyway floor where Sol's been sitting that is polished to cleanliness like holy hell, new street, because the tail's just been whacking at this thing. There's no dirt, there's no grime, it's just one small polished spot of clean alleyway. Um, the point I was trying to make anyway, is that the tail that was just like a bud or a sac sort of thing, it now has flowers on it. Um, Flowers sprouting from this thing's butt.
God, I really wish that the fucking demon was audible right now. Avery has. I'm going to roll just a flat wisdom without advantage for Avery because God, it's loud. That's a nat 1. I think
Ooh.
Avery continues petting, but seems to have zoned out looking at the tail. Just completely
Um,
zoned.
cool. Whilst you have completely zoned out with the petting, Sol is with one leg that is still vibrating furiously. Reach back behind them and pluck one of the flowers, like, and they're gonna very wibbly wobbly, leggily wiggly, just make their way over to you and hold out the flower to you. You can roll nature if you want to see if you know what this is.
Avery has no idea. This child is still zoned out. Uh,
Um,
no
I'm gonna roll
response.
insight. I've got to roll insight. Can you tell what is up with this child? Please, Sol. You have a good. Well, you have a decent insight. Come on, lad. 17.
17. Very distant. Like, definitely, they are not currently in this alleyway, mentally.
Ooh.
Um, it's not,
Ooh.
it's not
Okay.
in a sort of, like, they've had some sort of response. It's more, well, kind of had a it's weird to describe. Um, but I will say with also a 17, you can notice that the eyes are very rapidly changing vein colors.
Oh,
uh,
okay.
and
Um.
just sort of like staring off to the distance, Avery clicks absent-mindedly, clicks the capsule back over, shoves it in one of the pockets of his I do a pat of his school blazer, and then takes the other hand and also starts petting.
Okay. I will say, once Sol has noticed this reaction, the vibrations all of a sudden stop. Because with what they've witnessed, they're going to do a thing. So instead of the wriggling, Sol's going to very suddenly stop. Their outline is just going to be completely stable and normal. And Avery, you're going to very quickly have this very large plant horse circle behind you, plop down, wrap their neck around until their head is in your lap, and they're just gonna kind of sit there and drape one of their like lamb's ear wings over your shoulder, and they're just gonna wait.
Okay. God, I don't know if this makes it better or worse because plant. I do not know if I can understate how much Pan loves
You need
this.
to leave the alleyway. We'll just be in the alleyway, the FPS.
In 40 minutes!
That's it.
Uh,
Avery gets to pet a plant dog, the FPS. That's it, people.
yes.
This is all this was.
God, hold on. Hold on. I am going to do one more thing.
Go for it.
Okay, that's a 15. That's a 15. There's like a small like little shake of the head and another like wince. Like they've got a really bad headache. And sort of like blinks, looks down at the plant. Uh, uh, hi there. This is
Um, Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, question for you. Do you want to take a walk with us?
Um, Sol, upon hearing you speak, their heads just kind of been facing away from you. They haven't been looking up at you. They've just been looking out towards the head of the alley. And when you start talking, their petals kind of perk up a little bit more, and they flick towards you, and their head turns. And when you say you want to walk, they just like very calmly and slowly stand up. Um, and they keep their wing behind you because they don't know if you're gonna fall over if you haven't stood up yet. So they're just keeping an eye on you.
I mean, the middle schooler is going to stand up. and sort of like walk over to where their bag is, pick it up, put kind of like take the capsule out of the bag and put it into one of like those water bottle pockets, which is also, I will admit, full of those capsules.
Nice.
This backpack looks like it's full to bursting. Uh, like if if they opened this backpack right here, right now, it's very surprising it's not made of, like, it's not tunished in design. Uh, there's way too much stuff in this backpack. Sort of, sling it over their shoulders. Yeah, do you want to go for a walk?
Um, Sol's just gonna turn their head to look at you and then nod, and they're gonna reach one of their booty legs over, and they're gonna try and take the bag from you. They're just gonna like pull at the bag and then tilt their head at you.
Nope, it's good. I'm fine.
They're gonna give the bag another tug and then tilt their head at you again.
No.
Mm. You get the impression. I mean, Sol doesn't have a face. They're a giant sunflower head, but you get the impression this creature is squinting at you for slowly letting go of the bag, and they walk behind you, and you just get like a soft nudge at the back of your head, as Sol kind of nudges you, starts to nudge you out the alleyway.
Yep. All right. And Avery gives Soul another pat on the head. Just a pat pat. Don't mind the. uh, there's a very soft smile. And starts to walk out of the alleyway and down the street, leading Soul somewhere to a secondary location.
Yeah, it's about time, Sol. Out of time, Sol has taken someone to a secondary location. It's about damn time this happened to you. Karma.
Alright.
Karma is thy name.
And while I will say Avery is like pretty quiet while walking, there is a slight mutter, not directed at Soul, but more of like I don't know. We do have a pond. Would that be enough for? And like there's a like an appraising glance at Soul, uh, and then back to facing just to nothing. I have no idea how we're going to explain this. And keeps walking.
Yeah, Sol's not gonna respond to any of this. They're just gonna keep walking by your side and sort of. If you do come to like roads and such, where cars are whizzing by, like if you're like walking too close, Sol's probably gonna just like kind of shift themselves to the other side, the one that's closest to the road, and just keep next to you. Keep a look around.
Alright. Yeah, there is. You may have to stop them from jaywalking at several points, because this child has no appreciation for the law.
Okay, you think Sol knows what jaywalking is? You think Sol understands what roads are? You think they understand what a crosswalk is? No! I don't know what that is, but they do know when something very fast is coming at you, you shouldn't probably go out.
Yeah, definitely stops Avery from jaywalking. God. Jaywalking is a serious crime. No, it's not. But does eventually lead you to like a more residential district with like actual houses and not like stores everywhere. Definitely far away from the school at this point.
It's okay. Look, the rule that Sol was given is you're not allowed to take children away from the place that they're at supposed to be. Clearly, this child wasn't supposed to be at school because they didn't find them at school, so it's fine. You don't know what a school outfit is. They don't know what a blazer is. This child was just out in the wild. They're free game.
All right.
It's all good.
Yeah, and they walk up to like a very moderately set. It's actually pretty nice. The house has like a fence. There's a small pond in the yard. There is a window with like hanging plants out of it. near like the topmost floors. It's very standard for that's a that's a roll.
Was that was a whiz save. Sol does not jump into the pond immediately.
Uh,
What about it?
and
Fine.
Avery walks up to the fence, checks their pockets again. Did we leave the key? We left the keys at our desk. No, well, and Avery's going to attempt to hop the fence. Uh,
Oh, let me just.
that's plus. That's a 7. Avery does not manage to hop the fence. There is no like pegs for this fence. Uh,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Oh, give me just a moment.
It's okay. God. Hello everyone in the chat.
Sorry.
It's
Sorry
alright.
about that.
So good.
I had someone come in. I might have to use your recording. um,
That's all good.
okay, so. Okay, so,
Why is
when
there?
you say it's a fence, how tall is this? Is it like a small picket fence, or are we talking like a chain link kind of thing?
It's one of those like, uh, gothic style fence. It's no, not. I don't know if
Oh,
it's.
gated community kind of fence.
Yeah, it's fairly
Ooh.
decently tall. It doesn't have any like pointed ends to it. Like the ends are like little knobs. Uh, Probably because people have done this before. I look at Avery. There's a certain person who has a habit of sneaking out at night. Anyway,
Anywho.
but definitely attempts like I think Avery like puts the backpack over like between the bars first, which is somehow possible. This is Toon logic, but cannot manage to like get themselves over the bars.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is, Soul, seeing your struggle, I, I'm gonna see what they do here, Bubby. What can you do? Ah, that's what you can do. Cool. Soul is gonna just, Avery, you're gonna feel something very suddenly just go between your legs, and suddenly your feet are no longer touching the ground, and you're a lot higher off the ground than you used to be.
Huh. Huh.
Taller. You're very tall.
Huh. This is weird.
Yeah. A little bit weird, but I mean, Soul has essentially just kind of shoved their neck between your legs and then given you a boost.
Nice. Avery is going to attempt to climb the fence again.
Go for it. Go with advantage. You're taller now. You have the power.
I am tall.
I am tall and mighty.
That's a 12. Avery manages to make it over the fence, falls with like an oof. Uh, but manages to make it over the fence.
Who does? Oh, I know what you do. Oh, buddy. So you see, this is they have this really bad habit. They used to do it a lot when they tried to break into, I mean, visit the school, and they kind of just shove their head between the bars in their neck, and then they try and slip their front two legs through the fence, and that works. But then they try to pull the rest of their body through, and they're large. They're a very large horse, and it's just like boink, 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 and they just keep doing that, and yeah, they can't get through that way, so they just kind of thwomp a bit, push themselves back out. And you said, is there like a gate? You said there was a gate that they could probably
There's a gate.
Cool. Let me roll a strength check. Whoa! Soul, honey. Okay, you see this giant plant horse rear back and try to slam their front two legs against this gate. And with a resounding boom, gate kind of pushes them back. And they just kind of fall on their back. Head up towards the sky, legs in the air. They're just laying there.
This gate has has caused the most heinous of crimes. Uh,
Our greatest and nemesis, the pecking gate.
uh, God, God, oh boy. At least one of them is angry right now. Oh boy. Do I have like the instant reaction is tear apart gate hurt plant.
Oh, tell you what, there is a thing Sol can do. I'm gonna see what spells they have.
God.
Um, let me see. Oh, could they do that? Let me see. Hmm. Okay. Let me see. Okay, cool. That's what they're gonna do. Could you roll me a dex save, please?
A deck save.
Yes, please.
14.
Cool. Yeah, you're fine. So Avery, you see Soul kind of flump back onto their side, up on their legs, their head, give their head like a little full body shake that rattles down from their neck to their body. And then you see them kind of puff up a little bit, like their their petals get slightly pointier at the ends, and their tail starts to vibrate, but that's like an angry bee kind of vibration. You see them rear themselves back up again and slam their roots into the ground with such a great force that their roots crack the pavement underneath and go under. And you can see the ground underneath the gates just start to shake and tremble, and with a the gate just kind of falls inwards. Because Soul's just cast Earth Tremor. Um, and
Nice.
that makes the area loose earth and stone. And yeah, they just knock this thing over with a poof. And after having done that, they slowly pull their feet from the ground with like a snap, 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 as the roots that were underneath the ground are now snapped off and they grew new little rooty thingies. And they just trot through.
Alright, yeah, I'm finally on board with the whole keeping this thing. Uh, Alright, no one should be home right now. And, Avery, uh, doesn't, immediately open the door. They open the window, like, next to the door, because that window is never locked for some reason. Enters the house, unlocks the door from the inside and opens it.
Okay, okay, hang on just a
Oh
second.
boy.
Because unfortunately, Avery, you open the door, you're not going to see the plant horse standing outside the doorway, buddy. I am going to roll. Be an athletics check. Yeah, it is. It's going to be athletics to get through this peeking window, in it, buddy? That's a seven. Cool. The same. You see, you hear like some weird noises thumping from the kitchen, probably. And if you were to go track back through the kitchen, you'll just see a very long neck and head once again sticking through the window. Um, them once again trying to stick their they are trying to stick their rooty legs again through the window, but the
Oh,
window is a lot smaller than the gate. They can't get through. It's just
do
their
you,
head and neck.
do you know what would be funny? If they accidentally
Hmm.
turned on the sink and got distracted by that.
Oh, Magic, you're a genius. Oh, Magic, you're an absolute genius. You know what? Yes, with the seven, they do that. And I'm not even going to roll a whiz save for this because peck that. They see the sink turn on, their head snaps to it, and you just see them pull their head and neck out with a plop, and then you see two very long roots just snake their way through the window and plug up the sink, and you see, yeah, you just see water traveling down the roots and like over the roots, and then you just see like a gloop 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 noise, as like little pipe, like little bulges go up the roots. You know that drinking kind of animation you see going through
Yes,
straws.
yes, I do.
You just see that going out of the window.
God, hold on. I have to roll another fucking wisdom save because you're giving Avery all sort of headaches due to a certain. I look over.
I'm so
It's a
sorry.
one.
Oh no! Again!
God, that's the second one Avery's rolled on this.
Sol
There's
is giving me so many headaches, boy. I'm so sorry.
I think what actually happens this time because this is the second one. There is a sort of blank. Uh, so actually, I'm just going to yeah, Sol, you've done a sippy. Congratulations.
Cool. They've done a sippy, and you just hear the as the roots come out from the sink, and they don't snake away like they did last time. They kind of slug away because they are very, very nourished and hydrated, and they're just kind of out of the window. And you're just gonna hear a poof, and then you're just gonna hear a against the door.
Open the door back up.
And you see Sol as they were, but they are a lot rounder now. And as they kind of very slowly sort of tilt from side to side, you can hear the like sloosh of water inside of them. And their head is kind of like going a little up and down a little bit. You can roll an insight if you want.
God, is so sleepy.
Roll an insight.
Oh, baby sleepy. Oh, baby sleepy. God, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. Nat one. You think this thing is you think this thing's gonna explode the way it's tilting. It does not look coordinated or good at all. The way that slooshing noise is making, the way it's tilting its head from side to side, uh you think there might have been something bad in the water or something, or you don't know this thing very well, but it does not look yeah, no, that looks dangerous right now.
Hmm. Okay. There's a distinctive, not Avery voice of yeah, all right. Rose bushes. Screw this. And goes back outside and kind of like gently leads Soul around the building, like past the pond area, to a pile of rose bushes
Ooh,
that
okay.
are outside of a window and sort of makes motion to like put Soul on top of the rose bushes. They don't have any thorns. They have actually been dethorned because this is also how Avery gets out of the house at night.
Fair enough. I need to roll perception quick. Oh, oh, okay. So it takes them a little bit to notice. By the time you've got them over to the rosebush, they have noticed. And Avery, as you're trying to push or Avery, air quotes, as you try to push them in, you're gonna feel a resistance. This thing is pushing back against you. Do you want to roll me a contest strength, please?
Okay. That's my
Oh.
third nat one.
Oh my gosh! What the hell is with. Usually Soul rolls well with dex and strength, but not today. I will blame this on the waterlog. Um, we're very waterlogged at the moment, so they're not like super strength right now. But you kind of feel. Unfortunately, Avery, you are still a middle schooler trying to push a very large green plant horse. And despite how light they were earlier, again, they are waterlogged and still kind of heavy. So you try to push them towards the bush, and they just rear back and they back up very quickly away from the rose bush. And they're just probably, hey, would you say there is a window up to your bedroom out here somewhere?
There definitely is. It is in fact on the second story above these bushes.
Cool, 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 cool. Let's try an athletics to get up there because Soul is not going in the bushes. No, 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 no. That's a 19. I'm gonna say in the absolute just denial and panic of no, 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 not going in there. You kind of see the ground underneath Soul get a little bit soggier because um They have released the water. They've released some of the water that they drank just in their haste to get away. And they're kind of, at first, they're stumbling, but as they get towards where your window is, they just like jump onto the wall. And you see their roots dig into the side as they just kind of creepily spider walk up the side of the wall and then slip into your window.
God
Not gonna
damn
roll
it! I knew
this.
I should have chose a stronger body for this. And turns around, runs back inside, up the stairs, to Avery's bedroom,
Oh,
and slams open the door. I will say Avery's bedroom is a very strange mix of both greenery and just a crap ton of gotcha tokens. Like there are boxes of these things. They are hanging on the walls. Um, any sort of like we are very lucky this is Toonkind because there is nails upon nails of those hanging tokens on the walls.
ooh,
Uh,
ooh.
there is there's hanging plants. There's hey, does someone roll perception? There's
Oh,
there's
sorry.
small trees. There's flowers. You kind of stumbled over the ones hanging off of the wall. Um,
14 perception.
14 perception. 14 perception. I'm gonna say you don't notice quite yet, but this place is kind of that familiar homey of literally being like a mix of some sort of like a garden and like a home place. Uh, and you're probably currently just kind of laying on top of Avery's bed.
Uh,
There's the
Avery, buddy, I'm very sorry. Hang on. How strong is Avery's bed? It's designed for a middle schooler, right?
it was a guest bedroom. I will say it was a guest bedroom that's been
Ah,
remodeled.
okay. Um, I'm gonna try. Actually, you know what? Now I'm gonna go with the athletics I rolled earlier. Sol does not crush your bed. It's fine. But I will say, unfortunately, there is like a little trail of water going out your window and down the side, and there's probably a little bit of wetness on your sheets. It's just water. It's just water. You're fine. It's
It's
okay.
okay.
Okay. Just little water on the bed.
God.
Um, yeah. Sol is just on your bed. Um, I will say as they climb through, it's kind of the rear of them is facing the window, and then the bottom half is just gone. Like the front half of them is on the side, like off the side of the bed on the floor. They're just kind of looking up at you. Their necks craning back to look up at you as you come through the door.
Uh, do you want to roll another insight or perception?
I think they're the same mod, so you know what? Let's have a look. I should know these off by heart, but I don't. They're the same mod, so let's do this. Lev. Oh my gosh, buddy,
11.
buddy, please.
I don't. I think you notice that the posture has slightly changed, but you don't really notice anything else as Avery sort of like claps hands together, runs over to Soul's face and just like excitedly pats it.
I mean, the posture change was a little weird, but hey, they're getting pats. It's all good. Just and you hear like the as the legs of your bed start to shake against the floor. Um,
Pen does not care.
Probably some of the gacha stuff on the wall probably starts to vibrate a little too. And maybe I don't know. You said there are hanging plants, didn't you?
Yeah.
Some of those probably start to swing a little bit. They're on the ceiling, so they're not as affected, but the whole room is starting to like vibrate a little with the petting energy.
All right. There is a noticeable like there's a pause and then just more like a more gentle petting. Uh, because
Yes, you pet gentler, the vibrations slow down.
good, good.
Slings roughly.
God.
Of crisis averted.
Crisis averted. Uh, okay. Uh, do we want to take just a quick break because I know there's someone who's supposed to be going at the same time as us, and
I have checked. I think they have rearranged it. I've just checked in the announcements. I think they've rearranged it.
uh, ah, that's fair.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Take a break anyway if you want, and then come back in a little bit.
Nah, we can keep going. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. Would you like to roll? I will say, Avery, is just going to sit down on the bed, where it's not being taken up by plant, which is probably at like the very head of the bed, and like
Yeah.
continue to do, uh, to give to give this very horse plant thing, more gentle pets.
Petted. I'm not gonna roll that. Um, I'm gonna roll. What should I roll? Because let me see. Can I roll another perception to see if Sol notices anything else up in this room?
Yes, yes, you may.
Because they're just I would just like to say as you're petting them they have just slowly rolled from being on their front to their side to on their back, so now their back is just on your bed and their feet are in the air, their neck is trailing from the bottom of your bed down to the floor and their head's just looking up. And wow, okay, they are too distracted by the pets to notice anything else up. They're just like, yeah, nah, I'm getting belly rubs, this is fantastic, I'm having a damn good time.
I think there's uh the posture slowly changes back over time. From like the I don't know how to describe it. It was a lot more. I want to say thuggish.
Square
Back to
shouldered.
like the more slouched, relaxed of Avery as doing this petting, and it's just like, all right, you don't seem poisoned anymore. Might have to get the water checked. Um, that would probably be for the best. Saying this while like still
Mm,
petting this giant plant thing. Um, and I think that is a spell I can know as clerk. Uh, let's see, because I do kind of want to just do protection from poisoned. Because that would be great. I can actually just I'm Avery is going to cast detect poison and disease. Just to
okay.
like make sure that yes, this thing is okay and not about to explode. As
Um.
one does.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll anything for this. I don't think they do roll anything. Yeah, no. They they are not poisoned. They are not poisonous. They are just they're fine. You think it might just have been a case of waterlogging. Um, because yeah, no, they're not poisoned or poisonous
God.
or diseased even. No diseases from this one.
Yeah, I'm just Avery pat face. Uh, all right. Real question. All right. What I need to start thinking about now. What we need to start thinking about now. Says very pointedly. How how are we supposed to explain A, the giant plant monster, B, the fence, and did we turn the sink off? We turned the sink off. They did not turn the sink off.
As you say that, you probably hear like a of like pipes rattling your walls, like coming from downstairs.
I'm sure that's nothing of concern.
Yeah, no,
Continue.
don't worry about it. Don't worry about your kitchen being flooded. It's fine.
I I point. I point. This is a middle schooler.
Valid. I will say though, when that noise stops and he says, "None of my concern," we just kind of quick cut to the kitchen, and cartoonish fashion, half of this sink is like half of the kitchen is flooded, the table is floating, and so are the chairs, and there's just a family of ducks just going in the sink. Um,
God.
don't ask how they got there. And don't ask questions. It's tune logic. The
Don't
kitchen is
ask.
flooded now.
Don't ask how it hasn't spread to any of the other rooms. Again, toon logic.
Tune logic.
Yeah. Uh, but that's going to be a fun thing for later. Uh, Avery's a real kind. Avery doesn't think about these things. But just okay. Um, oh, we have a lot less space now since you got those new plants. Avery is looking around the room. Would Soul like to roll another perception?
Can I
Because
do this at advantage, please?
yes, you may.
Please. I swear, child, please. Work with me.
I mean,
That's not correct. Um,
it has to be a
don't know.
semicolon.
Oh, yeah, I thought as much. Well, that one was an 8. That one, nat 1.
My God.
Okay. For the sake of just getting the, can we just say Peck Dice Passer on this, please?
Yes, we can say
Because
Peck
they are
Dice
just
Spicer.
bullying Soul. They have waterlogged them, and they have distracted them with shiny objects, and it's not fair, and they need to see things.
Not fair.
I noticed the plants, and you, if you're still petting Soul, you will kind of notice that wiggling starts to slow a little, and the belly that was being very happily shown to you just slowly rolls off, and with a thunk, they hit the floor,
Oh,
and the neck that was leaning off the side of the at the end of the bed just kind of slithers off the side, and you see them stand up very slowly. Hey, how big is this room, by the way?
I
Did you
would
say?
say it's like a medium-sized room. I will also note that not all of the plants in this room are specifically plants you're supposed to retrieve. Don't know if that matters to Soul, but
Um, well, let me see. That is a good question. I need to roll a history. What do they remember, buddy? Do you remember? Do you remember?
no. God.
No! They remember being told to get back the plants. They weren't told which specific plants, but they know that if they bring back plants, they get a treat. They know that. They know that very well. Um, so I'm going to roll. Actually, you can roll me a quick perception, and I'm gonna roll something else. Oh, that's where you get the high roll, buddy. Okay then.
Do I have a modifier to perception? No, I don't.
Oh,
I
flat
forgot about
d20.
that. No, I don't. I don't
Oh,
have
we're gonna see
proficiency to
it.
perception. I do have a modifier because wisdom. But
Okay, you don't see this then. But for the audience, Sol has just very slowly lifted up one of their rooty feet and just tapped themselves very quickly, and just feel like a quick little peek of something goes through them. And I will say what you do see, Avery. You see Sol kind of crouch down a little and just kind of the head very slowly turns around the room, and you can see that they are in fact looking at all the plants that are around the room. And I'm gonna roll. Let me see. What can I do here? I need to see what they should roll here
to pick
because
up.
they are going to. They're gonna try and do a mad dash around this room. They're gonna spring around this room. I'm gonna roll acrobatics
Okay.
because they're gonna spring around this room and try and snatch up as many plants as they can. Then they're probably, let's have a look. 19.
19.
19. Okay. So it's like you just see them do like the little cat crouch. Their butt goes in the air, their front goes down, and their neck bends down towards the floor with their head facing up, and you just see them do that little cat wiggle, and then it's just. And it's like the speed blur of. And one by one, you see these plants just get snatched up and whoop, and snatched up and whoop, and snatched up and whoop. And I don't know how quick you are, Avery, but Sol is dashing around this room, just snatching up the plants. And by the time they're done, Avery, you have what, two plants left in this room, and you can choose which plants they are.
Uh-huh.
But most of your plants are gone.
There's... Is Soul also gone?
Um, the 19, I will say you just see the end of their tail pop out of the window, and you hear thump outside of your window.
There's a pause for a moment. Uh, then an eye twitch. And while the camera is focused on Avery, his his eyes that are normally like this very normal person color. I don't remember last time what color I said they were. I think it was green. But they they twitch and it goes straight to pink with green veins, like a
Oh,
very angered rose.
oh dear.
And the posture straightens out again, gets up, and dashes downstairs, picking up the bag as Avery runs out the door.
As you run out of the door, Avery, you just hear a as you go past. As Avery slams the door shut behind them, um, there is just still there's still water in the kitchen, just flooded, and the ducks are still just happily quacking away, just like little. But
Look, listen, Pan does not care about any of these things.
you're valid. I was just gonna say, from where the table is, you see like something long and green and scaly just kind of flip up and flip down back into the water, and you hear the mad the sound of upset ducks, um, and a long snout, and two beady little eyes peek out from underneath the table. And that's where we cut it back to what was going on with us. Don't worry about what's going on in the kitchen. I'm
So
sure it'll be fine.
I don't know what's happening in the kitchen. I'm sure it'll be
That's
fine.
fine.
Um, but Avery runs out the door and immediately tries to lock eyes with wherever Soul went.
Roll me the survival.
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 All right, I get to
Wow.
roll with fancy stats because
Ooh.
someone else is taking the wheel. So let's see. That's survival, so that's a plus 17.
Oh, you said plus 17. I was like, what the hell are you?
Yes, plus 7.
Um,
I'm.
plus,
Anyway,
plus 17 survival. They've had it rough, kids. Don't ask why. But yeah, with a 17, so you look around and immediately, you know they jumped out the window, so you check under there. I will say, there are tracks just by the rose bush that lead straight through the front gates, and you can see from where they've run through the water, and where the water was kind of dripped from earlier. There's mud. You can see the mud flecks as they lead down the pavement. With a 17, you also notice, like weirdly enough, the rose bush under your window hasn't been touched. Like it doesn't look like Soul had landed in them.
at least my goddamn rose bushes aren't destroyed. And runs after Soul.
Oh, I will say at this time, because Lao woke up about like early morning trying to get all this done.
Yeah,
I
I
will
was
say at
going
this
to recommend
early
a jump cut.
afternoon.
I was going to
Yeah.
recommend a jump cut to
Yes.
Soul coming back with the plants.
Yes. Um. So let me roll another intelligence for my young'un. Hey, hey, hey! Which way do you go? 12. Cool. So they they kind of make their way to the apartment complex, and they they want to go up the side of the building, and they're just about to, and then they just kind of stop and thump to the floor and just no, 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 gotta do this the proper way, sadly, and they walk around to the front doors, go up those flights of stairs, and I'm gonna have to roll a con save here because these flights of stairs aren't very nice. And hey, 10! Cool, cool, cool. They get to the top of the stairs, or at least to the stairwell that they are stopping on, and they just kind of their leaves are drooping, the leaves on their back are drooping, the bud on their back is drooping, they're just very droopy. And they leave a trail of mud and flower petals from their bud, which are still there actually. There's been just a whole bush of flower petals following them as they ran. They trail up to the door and they just in their tiredness, they don't lift up one of their legs. They just lean their head back very slowly and just go against the door. I'm gonna see. How long does it take you to notice, buddy? Cool. Wow, cool. Almost immediately after the fourth tongue, the door swings open and Lao looks up and says, "Where have you been? Why is it taking you so long to find some missing plants? Sol, Sol, get in here. Why do you look so bedraggled? Did you actually take the stairs? You should have taken the window." And he just sort of pushes Sol in. And I will say, this is probably where Avery shows up, or at least um, and find the trail that goes to the building.
Is there a lift?
There is, but do you want to? Actually, you know what? Do you want to roll me perception quickly? Investigation, up to you.
We're both the same modifier. No, that's another nat one!
No. Yeah, you don't notice in your hurry. You notice nothing. You just press a button on the lift and you hear the ding, and it's just like a noise as you wait for it to come down. And give me a moment. I was not expecting you to take the lift, so I need to get something. Where are you?
Look,
Do do.
listen.
um. Okay. Okay. Cool. 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 So we're just waiting for the lift to come down, and like I imagine like their foot's tapping or something as they're waiting for the lift, and as you're waiting, you see the numbers go from 5 to 4 to 3 to 2 to 1, and with a ding, you hear the doors open. And could you roll me a deck save, please?
It's supposed to be a +3, but that's a nat 20.
That's a nat 1. Oh, damn, the discrepancies here. So good news. You do not get dragged into the lift by a vicious lash of thorns. Um, yeah, that's you don't think the lift's going to be an option because if you look in the lift with that deck save, you just instinctively knew something was going to happen, like bad vibes about going into this lift, and you step back, the lash of thorns rips out, just like it just completely misses where you were. Um, as you
Okay.
look into the lift, there is you can't tell what the hell this thing is. I mean, you can try if you want.
I
You can
do.
roll if you like. Go ahead.
I do.
Um,
Hold on, what is my nature modifier in this form?
don't
Okay.
know what it would be.
That's 17?
Okay, this thing is definitely not normal.
Mhm.
This is not a naturally grown plant. This is some kind of. You think there's some sort of magical enhancement in this plant. Um, you don't know what exactly. The magics of this plant are kind of weird. But you can definitely tell it's violent. You can definitely tell it's angry, and you can definitely tell that you probably shouldn't take the lift up.
Hey, so, can it make a wisdom save?
Oh boy, give me a moment. What's your whiz, buddy? I might have to change this because I didn't do them properly because I didn't think of it.
Look,
It would
listen.
be 16.
Hold on, I need to actually do math because I didn't put this part on the sheet.
Neither did I. Make
Hmm,
it up.
I really want to say that doesn't actually make it.
Dude, if it's better, just do that. We can fix sheets later. This is an FPS. It's not. It's fine.
Yeah, I don't think that makes it, noting how spell save DC works. Um, I have used Channel Divinity to
Oh.
charm plants and animals.
Oh my word. Okay. All right.
Um, and Pan like, uh, yeah, you are charmed. The charmed creature
Ooh.
can attack the charmer or target the charmer with harmful abilities or magical effects, and I have advantage on interacting sociably with this creature.
Oh, good.
And and
Okay.
Avery is going to ask to take the lift to whatever floor, um, whatever floor that recently had, you know, a plant monster walk on it.
Um, cool. Do you want to roll me persuasion then?
I do.
Advantage?
Do you want to roll persuasion with advantage? That's a 9.
Mm. Oh man. I mean, this thing, it's not gonna attack you, but it does kind of just go, and you just see like the vines slowly retreat back into the lift, and just it kind of laces together over the door of the lift, and with a ding, you just hear the doors very slowly start to shut. I'm sorry, you gave it a good go, but
Alright,
I can tell
Avery's
you.
going to take the stairs. Very
Oh,
begrudgingly.
roll me a con save, please. I will say it is easy enough to know which floor to get off on. That is a 12. Okay. So you get up the stairs. You are a little out of breath because you are a middle schooler who probably doesn't go up many flights of stairs all the time.
And also
Um,
ran here.
and also around here, you are quite tired and your body is small and you don't have much money, but you sure got a lot of gotcha. So yeah, you're on the third floor, and you it's I'm not gonna make you roll. You can just see the dirt and the petals on the floor. Um, I will say that you recognize these petals aren't from any of your plants, but you will recognize these petals as the ones from the flower that Sol gave you earlier.
Avery will march over to the door, and this is where I recommend cutting to Lao and Sol, and Lao looking at some plants that are definitely not a part of the criteria of what was asked of Sol.
Cool. Okay, right. So gonna cut from that then to the inside of the flat, and Sol is happily lounging on the giant bush couch. Um, the tail is very slowly vibrating, and their neck is just poofed on one of the armrests, and all four of their little roots are in a bowl each, and you just hear a very slow little noise as they have a nice little drink of water and honeydew. That was promised, and Lao keeps their promises to their plant friend. Um, but he is. I've got to roll nature. Actually, should I roll nature or history here? Because
Whatever is better.
what mods have you got actually, mate? They're the same mod, so either way. Dirty 20. Okay. So I would say he definitely recognizes that some of these plants aren't his. Um, which is a little confusing, but I mean, it's free plant. He's not gonna complain. He's gonna turn towards Sol, where they're just kind of very calmly having a sippy on the couchy, and he's gonna say, Sol, I don't know, I don't know where these plants went, and I don't think you're in any position to tell me at the moment. And you just hear as he continues, but you have found some rather interesting specimens, and he just lifts up one of the plants that was in Avery's room. You can flavour that however you want if you want magic.
Mm-hmm. I will say the plant is not it's not native to Inkwell. It is a very red looking plant, and when you hold it, it's like a hand warmer. Um,
Ooh.
its petals sort of have a strange pattern. There's like a one of those very big bulk of seeds in the middle, but it's sort of the petals sort of twist upwards and sort of like to wherever the direction of the sun would probably be in the room it was kept in. Um,
Mm.
and it is currently it is in remarkable condition.
Lau nods approvingly at this. With that dirty 20, would I be able to tell if it's from Faruma or not?
It is from Faruma. Uh,
Ah, okay.
it It is a certain plant mostly used in alchemical mixtures, specifically to make large amounts of fire. But this one seems to be just kind of. Usually, those plants have a very high, because the fire part comes from the seeds. But this one doesn't. Usually, those plants are like bred to be literally just seeds. This one does have a very impressive amount of petals on it.
Ooh, okay. Lau is admiring this plant very much. He says, Sol, I don't know how you managed to find one of these here, but I've
Um,
only ever seen these at home. Ah, my word, it's very well nicely taken care of. I've never seen it growing quite like this, but it could be very interesting to have a look at
uh,
those sort of things. Yeah.
hey, I have a question. How strong is the door?
Oh, I will say it's not locked.
It's not locked?
Nope.
Okay. In that case, Lao hears a loud bang as the door
Mm.
slams open. Uh,
Oh, let me just roll a couple whiz saves for a quick hot sec. Um, Oh, I don't want to do. Why are you doing this to me? I don't want to roll in the appreciation zone. That's not what I'm trying to do here. Um, can I do the thing I want to do, please, and not have you click onto these other things? Ah. Oh, it's being a jerk. Okay, I'm just gonna do it one at a time. Okay, dirty 20, very nice. And an 18. Damn. Okay. So the dirty 20 is Sol and the 18 is Laos. Those were whiz saves. Sol does not even flinch as this door comes busting in. They are just having the sippy of their lifetime. They've done their work. They don't care. They're done. They just do very curiously just tilt their head up a little bit to look at the door. Lao the 18, he kind of like the three curls in the back of his head just twitch a little and he blinks a couple times, just like, oh bloody hell, it's Peck, have I forgotten to pay Carmenia again or something? Why have they kicked the door in? There's no need to kick the door in. Carmenia, there's no need to kick the door in. And as he comes around the corner of his living room, he stops and he looks um at the person at the doorway.
there is a raggled middle schooler whose head snaps unnaturally to Lao. Uh, they're holding a crossbow in one hand and a shovel in the other.
Yeah, cool, cool, cool. Oh, that's wonderful, sweet. Okay, I'm gonna make a few rolls. Give me a moment. You can roll perception or insight if you would like. So there's that, and then I need to. I'll let you do that roll first, and then I will
Alright.
make my other rolls.
I'm just gonna do an insight
One of
in
them
that
was a nat
case.
20. Damn.
God damn, I don't think he actually cares, and you hear a, where the fuck are my plants, you son of a. And, like,
Okay, cool. Okay, so actually, with that 11, you do see this because I roll with disadvantage. Um, yeah. So you come in, and perhaps in your blind rage, it's almost easy to miss. You do notice this person's outline shakes a little as you come in, and you do see them that you know they're trying to be subtle, but they're not. You just see one of their arms quickly grab the other arm. You see one of their hands grab the a wriggling part on their arm, and you just see it squeeze, and you see the outline start to instead of wriggling kind of madly, it just sort of slowly fades into a normal straight line with normal bendy curvatures, and you see them take a deep breath and let out a sigh, and then they look at you and say, "I don't know who you are, but I don't think you should be in here. Shouldn't you be at school?"
you motherfuckers took my goddamn collection! And, this middle schooler is very angrily approaching.
Cool. Are you gonna? Okay. Are you gonna try and roll intimidation here? Um.
I don't want to roll intimidation, I want to roll to attack. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, cool. Hey, Magic, do you remember when I told you about Lao's AC?
I don't. I don't. From what
Okay.
I remember, it's not very high, is it?
Okay. Yeah. Cool,
Uh,
cool, cool.
in that case, I'm not gonna have.
No, you
Let me.
can. You can keep you if you want to roll to attack, you roll to attack. I'm gonna roll something for soul very quickly. Because hey, they might actually recognize that voice of a new friend and come have a look. Um, come on. Okay, fine. They're having a sippy. They
Um,
kind of like they might perk their head up a little bit and just watch from the doorway as what's going on. Oh yeah,
I'm going to
yeah.
say I am going to take pity, and this is an intimidating action. Um, there is a crossbow bolt that whizzes just right by Lao's head, and buries itself into the wall.
Ooh, give me a moment. I'm just gonna do a thing. Oh, why did you do that, you fool?
You
Okay.
put an exclamation point on the second one.
It. Okay. What was your perception from earlier? Let me see. 11, 11. Yeah, meets it, beats it. You do see, you see this guy's eyes widen just a little bit, and the grip. I will say, as you came in, I should probably describe what you've actually come into. Right now, you are in what it's kind of weird. It's like you've stepped from an urban environment into what appears to be like a cottage in the woods kind of deal. Like it's almost like a cottage in the woods, except the woods have grown around to make a cottage. So
Hmm.
it's just wooden walls.
Hmm.
The floor is thick moss and like dirt. There is a door. There's not actually a door. You're in a corridor, and there are two archways to your left and right, staggered from one another. The one on the left is closer, and the one on the right's just a little further on, from where Lao came out of. Um, Left is the kitchen, right is the living room, and then further down there are two more doors, once again staggered in the same pattern of left to right. Um, there are vines, seemingly creeping all over the place, but they look like it looks kind of like wallpaper. Um, And there are also like lines, kind of like vines, kind of going along the walls and such. But again, it just kind of looks like wallpaper with that 11. And again with the 11, you do see Lao's eye just kind of widen, and the grip on his chair, which is just it's not actually his wheelchair. It's like an office chair kind of deal. Like it's got the springy back and then the armrest kind of deal. It's for home use. Let's put it that way. Um, and you see his eye widen as the bolt goes behind him and thunks into the wall at the end of the corridor. And he's like, right then, you seem rather upset about something.
Upset? Upset? Oh, I'm fucking pissed. Uh, now I am going to only ask you once. Return my collection, and nobody gets hurt.
Right. So I was just gonna look at this person and tilt their head to the side. And then you're just gonna see their head tilt very slightly towards see their head tilt slightly towards the room they exited from, and they're just gonna the call, oh, you remember those plants that you brought to me? And you're gonna hear noise come from there. It's like, I need you to bring me the extras that you brought and drop them over, alright? I need you to bring them over here. You're not in trouble, and yes, I know you want to finish your sippies, but you can do that in a moment if you just bring the plants over, alright? And I'm gonna roll an insight for Sol, because they definitely heard something go thunk out there. So they're a little bit more alert now. And roll 13, yeah, they know something is up. So Avery, you hear a thunk, 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 thunk getting closer, and you see a very familiar head just kind of peek round the side of the archway. And when it sees you, it kind of like the petals that were slightly droopy perk up again with a boing, and you see it start to vibrate again. As it looks between you and then Lao, and then you and then Lao, and then you and then Lao, and you could just see its head just start to shake and vibrate and go very happily. Um, and
There's an instant change of posture that Lau can notice. Suddenly this middle schooler is no longer hostile.
huh,
Cause plant. And kind of tucks the shovel under the arm with the crossbow and like gives away and goes hi, hi, like a little like talking to him like a little puppy.
you're gonna get one of those little finger waggles back, just like a so and Lao is just gonna think twice and then look back at this child that's just busted down his door to his house, and he's going to say, appears there's been some sort of disruption. Do you want some you want your plants back then, is that it? Because the only reason they came back, and he points to Sol, who is still just waving little fingies around the corner rapidly. The only reason I sent them out to get them in the first place is because some of mine went missing. So, if you can explain to me why they came back with not only mine but yours, well, then I'd be more than happy to return what is yours back to you. And he is going to. He's not going to take his eyes off of you, but he's just gonna. You're going to see him reach out towards the wall, and as he does, you're going to see the vines that they look 2D like wallpaper. You're going to see him reach out, and the vines are going to just pop off of the wall for him to grab and pull himself along through the house. And he's going to pull himself through into the room he just came out of, which is the living room.
Avery is going. Avery, now no longer hostile and in the middle of a blind rage, does like kind of look around this place with a sort of like appreciating look and follows after Lao. Doesn't explain anything yet. But
He's a middle schooler. He's valid.
he's just a middle schooler man.
Middle schooler. He's valid.
Who is just very angry. But no longer angry. And yeah, follows after Lao. Are the plants just on the table?
I will say, roll me a perception as you enter.
Okay.
Oh boy.
It's 11.
11. It's just 11s in here. It's just an 11 in this house. 11 and only 11. Um,
God.
yeah. So immediately as you enter the room, on your left, it's about afternoon time, about 2:30, 3 o'clock roughly. It's a decently sunny day. It's not blindingly bright, but there are only like a couple of little snow flurry clouds out. It's like that cold, brisk kind of sunny day, typical winter sun. Um, and on the left is the whole wall is just like glass. Um, like there's no like brick or anything. It's just a glass wall. Which seems to peer out into an overlook over some of the other houses and such in Toontown. And with the light coming in, just in front of you to your left is a bush. It looks like a bush, but it also looks like one of those. It looks like a topiary bush that's been cut into the shape of a couch. But it also looks like it hasn't been trimmed in a while, so it's just gone a little bit wild. There's one normal armchair. It's just an armchair, with like a small little ottoman, just tucked near it. There's a little low hanging coffee table, and that has got a few of your plants on it. But what's probably distracted you the most is that all along the walls, like, and I do mean like all along the walls, from glass wall around to the other side of the wall to the doorway, and then cuts back over to the next part of the archway and back around to the glass wall again. So length of the whole room basically, just hanging shelves and desktops and tables full of plants of all kinds. And I do mean all kinds. They are from Inkwell, they are from Faruma. There's so many in different styles and shapes and types. Um, and you will see there's some things tucked underneath these floating tables that are fixed to the wall. Um, and you will also notice that whilst there is light coming through the window, there does seem to be like weird little holes in the ceiling, but you don't know what that's about. Um, that's what you see as Lau just rolls himself in, pulls himself in, and he sighs and heaves himself into the armchair and looks over his shoulder at you and says, "Well, I don't know if you want to come and take a seat, and we can try and sort this out as quickly as we can."
Oh, this middle schooler is now vibrating, looking at the plants on the wall.
What a roll insight.
This middle schooler has
Anyone?
This middle schooler has successfully been distracted by being surrounded by different types of plants. This Whoever this person is definitely a plant enthusiast. Uh, for new, funky, fancy, different types of plants.
Yeah. Cool. So I presume that just means you're just standing in the doorway, vibrating a little.
Yes, yes.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna look over his shoulder, see you vibrating there, and just. Right. Sol, could you? And with that, Sol just pops up from where they had popped back down to the little couch sofa, and they are gonna. I don't know if you want to resist or roll anything for this, but if not, I'm just gonna roll to pick you up and pop you on the sofa.
God, there's definitely like a little like hey, and as as Avery gets forced into the sofa, Avery is a middle schooler.
Avery is also just standing in the doorway, vibrating, doing nothing. Move your butt, Avery.
Yeah, Avery falls undignantly in the couch. There's a loud like clatter sound, I will say, as the backpack gets moved, and there's a shit. Instantly goes to like turn that right side up. Unzips the top of the thing. Checks the inside. I'm not even gonna have you roll perception. That's also one of your plants inside the bag.
Mm, cool.
Surrounded by little like gotcha balls and tokens and also paperwork that is definitely supposed to be homework that they haven't done. Um
Cool. Oh my gosh. Avery bud.
um sort of like
Okay.
takes the plant, makes sure it wasn't damaged, like not a lot of dirt fell out. Kind of like God. And afterwards, just kind of like pats it on the top of the head. Yes, pats the plant at the top part.
Oh my gosh, Avery buddy. Um, I will say whilst you're doing all this, Avery, as you plop down onto this sofa thing, yeah, as you plop down, it is definitely a plant. It has a very strange quality that you can just almost identify it as you probably recognize this feeling from when you drop down into the rosebush a lot, except it's a lot softer. It is like sitting on like soft springy moss, except this is not moss. This is definitely a bush. It's not moss. And as you have sat down, um, you feel that this part of the sofa has a dip in it, like something has made its imprint in that part of the sofa. As Sol just kind of flops onto the floor between you and Lao, between the armchair and this sofa, and has popped their head on the side of the armchair, and Lao just reaches up one of his hands, and starts to very gently like fiddle with the petals. Um,
There's there's a pause from Avery, and the middle schooler is not looking over at Lao. And there's a,
mhm.
hey, is it a crime to steal a house? What do you mean it's a crime? What?
You
Come
say
on,
all
this
this
place
out
is
loud?
cool. Yes, yes, we do.
God.
What do you mean we don't have any use for it? Come
Oh,
on.
gosh.
I don't
Where's
care
your
how we're
head
going to
at?
explain it to your exchange parents. Why do you think I would care? Oh, come on.
Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Lau just kind of clears his throat a little bit at that. And he has spotted the plant in your bag, and he's just gonna point his spare hand that isn't petting Soul, and I will say Soul is just rumbling at the moment. Points his spare finger at the bag and says, "If you're wondering why Sol has taken all of your plants, I think you'd better answer as to why that is in your bag." And
I
he's just
found it. Free real estate.
oh, how did you find it? Enlighten
Uh,
me.
it's kind of dark. Yes, I have been going out at night. It's kind of dark. Uh, Pan
I love
definitely has
insight.
not been paying attention. Would you roll an insight? What you want to know?
I want to know, like, is this kid telling the truth? Are you trying to fuck with me or what?
I mean, maybe a little bit trying to fuck with you. But it to be fair, it is dark, and Pan does not pay attention to these sort of things, and actually doesn't recognize that this is the same building that
Oh my
that
gosh.
he kept stealing from. He came here in a blind rage. Uh,
Oh my gosh. Buddy. Oh my gosh. Lau is just going to rest his beak on his other hand as he's petting Soul, who is still vibrating. Um, and I will say, as Soul's vibrating, you do see something small just kind of like pop off and move off of Soul onto one of the plants nearby. And if you were to look, it's a little red and black ladybug. has just gone and sat on one of the plants in the room just to chill. And
Oh.
yeah, Lao's just gonna look at this kid who has come into his house. He's gonna say, "So it's my understanding that you've come to my house in a blind rage, wielding a crossbow and a shovel, kicked my door in, threatened me, shot an arrow at me, and then threatened to burn down, well, at least just take all of my things, because you stole my plants. And then Sol, upon my request, took back what I stole and perhaps a little extra."
Their
Is
name is
that
Sol?
my.
That's cool.
It's just gonna sigh, and the hand that was under his beak is gonna move to the top and very slowly move between his eyes, and he's going to close his eyes, take a deep breath, let it out, and drop his hand onto his lap and pick at his blanket and open his eyes, look back at you and say, "Yes, their name is Soul." And as he says his name, Soul, their petals perk up and their head perks up and they look between you and then they look at Lau and then they look at you and they look at Lau and they just kind of like, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, me, me, me." And Lau sighs and says, "Yes, Soul, yes, you," and just scratches behind the petals and they droop and just kind of settle down, all melty. And Lau turns back and says, "Yes, this is Soul, and quite frankly, I'm not inclined to tell someone who's just kicked my door in my name. Introduce yourself first, if you wouldn't mind, and I might think about it."
Hmm. There's there's a there's a look that's not quite at Lao, but in Lao's general direction. Uh. Hmm. Wasn't Stranger Danger a thing we talked about? Nah. Uh. Does a little wave. Uh. Hi, name's Fan.
And I'm gonna roll. Can I roll a history here?
History. I mean,
Yeah,
sure.
that's
Which
25.
you wanna know?
Um, does Loud recognize the name Pan?
Uh, like as a person or
As a figure in history?
uh I don't know how the mythology of this world works. For Furuma at least.
Do you want me
But
to roll religion instead? Would that be better?
it's not really a religion. It's more of Avery has named Pan because Avery was originally for something else entirely. So it made sense for the core to be named Pan. But uh Pan does have like a spiritual connection to plants as like a name. No idea if it's like it's probably not the actual fucking like thing. It's not the actual
Yeah,
fucking spirit. This is just a middle schooler.
fair enough. Okay. I'll just nods their head then and says, "And then, right. Suppose it's rather fitting considering," and gestures around his room, which is, yet again, full of many different plants of many different shapes and sizes and many different magical properties and um, just so many different kinds of outlines and like there's some from Ruma, there's some from here, like so many plants. Uh, and then he looks back at you and says, "Well, I suppose I can understand why you'd want to take my plants. They are, well," and you see a very small grin pop onto his face before his hand comes up again to cover his beak and says, "I understand why you'd want to, but that doesn't excuse that you have taken my plants." And he once again glances very pointedly at the plant still in your bag. "You've taken more plants, and then you have the girl to come to my home and try and threaten me because I have stolen them back with a little bit of interest."
I mean, you could have just asked.
Ow. Um, the hand that is petting Soul is just gonna stop petting Soul. It's gonna slowly come away, and the hand covering his beak is gonna come away, and they're just gonna. I'm gonna post. What exactly? Um, where is it? I post to you exactly the pose he's doing right now. Doing that, and he is leaning forward in his armchair, and he's looking at Avery. He's looking at Pan, sorry, very close, and he's saying, "And how exactly was I supposed to ask them for them back if I didn't know where they went?"
Avery looks at Lao, looks around the room, looks at Lao. I mean, could have. I don't know. Aren't you like smart or something?
Um, there is a long pause, and I was just looking at you and blinking, and Sol, having kind of got bored from not being petted, kind of shuffles a little bit to be closer to the sofa and just thump, thumps their neck and head over that side of the armchair, of the sofa arm, and just kind of whaps themselves there.
Oh, Avery look. Pan looks ecstatic and starts petting Soul.
Immediately, immediately, wriggle, 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 and I am roll another one of these. Oh, um, Al looks over and he can't quite hide the softening in his expression as he looks at Sol getting petted and just being incredibly happy with it. He is, however, still going to just understand that you like plants. That's fine. I understand. Truly, I do. However, you cannot just go and take plants because they're just because you. And he kind of pauses a bit and tilts his head. Um, and he's just gonna have a little think as to how to say the words. And while he's doing that, did you want to say or do anything?
Listen, we don't have enough allowance money to pay for both of the special entrants. And and still petting still petting Soul. And usually, says very pointedly, not out loud, mine gets put second, so I have to make do with what I get. Uh,
Okay, Magic, I get you're trying to get Loud to ask about this.
no, it's
Um,
okay if you don't
now
ask.
is
This is just how
Loud
they
does
talk
not.
to each other. I'm not gonna lie, this is how they talk to each
Fair
other.
enough. Fair enough. Oh my gosh.
It's just how
Lau
they
is just gonna give this kid a deadpan look, like he does not care what the hell is going on in there. He's not a mind doctor, okay? That's not his game. That's not him. That is not a bit of him. He's just gonna sigh and say, "Oh, I can't believe I'm doing this." And he is going to actually, no, yeah, he's gonna do that because he needs to do that. Maybe easier. Cool. So he reaches underneath his blanket again, and he pulls out just like a small piece of parchment, and he puts his claw to it, and he looks up at Avery and says, "I'm giving you this so you know where not to go. Do you understand me? If I see you, either of you," he says, slightly uncertainly, "anywhere near my doorway again, or anywhere upstairs again, and by upstairs I mean on the roof. Don't go over there or anywhere near my apartment, and I won't have to toss you out of the window. and I won't have you stealing my things again. I will give you back what's yours, but I expect you. And as he's saying this, you just see his finger is actually. It, actually, you know what? You can roll perception on this just to see if you notice what's going on with this stuff.
23.
Yeah, okay. Immediately you notice, hey, this guy's outline is actually kind of weird. Because usually most tunes have an inky outline of some sort, or I mean, Hausen tunes tend to have like a clay kind of feel to them. And as you look at this guy, at first you thought he was UPAan, and then as you look at him, you see he does actually have more Hausen traits. He is more fleshed out, quote unquote, than a UPAan. As you see him write, the black outline, he's using his outline to write, and as he does, you see that the thickness of his hand starts to wane a little, and the finger he was writing with, just the outline gets thinner and thinner and thinner, and then eventually, by the time he's finished just writing this address down and telling you to basically keep off his property, gonna pick the piece of paper up with one hand and hand it over to you. One of his fingers is gone as he hands this piece of paper over to you and says, "I'm giving you this address so you know where not to go. Come back. Give you back your
Uh-huh.
clothes. Don't come back. Do you understand?"
Pan stares at this. Stares at this. I feel like I'm not getting much out of this deal.
I'm getting your plants back, and I'm not throwing you out of a window. I think that's a
No,
pretty good
we
deal.
survived thrown out a window, right? What do you mean, no? Uh,
I mean, if the window doesn't do, I can take you to the rooftop. It's fine either way by me.
uh,
I
Panny's going to look at you. Is that an intimidation?
No, hang on, I've got to roll it at advantage here. Okay. I'm gonna say that yeah, it's gonna roll on with that insight. Yeah, basically, he says he'd be fine chucking you out a window or off the roof, but you see there is like a slight pinch in the corner of his eyes. Yeah, this is definitely like a threat. He's not gonna do it. This is Tim just trying to warn you off. So I need
Hold
to
on.
check a thing. Go ahead. Um,
Dun,
yeah.
dun, dun,
Oh,
dun.
this is so
This
much
is the
quicker.
calendar and not, in fact, my character sheet at all.
Oh,
I was
oh,
looking at the calendar trying to find out my stats.
oh dear. Oh.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Uh,
Oh, oh, whoops. Oh, okay. I need to do a thing then. Oops.
hmm?
Give me a second. I forgot. I forgot a thing. Oh dear. Um.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh man. Okay. Cool. 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 I need to make another one of these. That's disadvantage. Okay, at 12. You see him hold this piece of paper out to you. Um, and you don't reach to take it, do you? You're just still sitting and staring at him.
Yeah.
While that's going on, I need to roll. Sorry, I'm doing a few rolls because something is happening now, and I need to make sure that
Oh?
it goes. Yeah. Oh man. Okay, you're lost in the sauce. Okay. Yeah. So Lao is basically holding this piece of paper out to you, and you can see that um he the paper is starting to shake a little, and you see that it's not actually the paper, it's the hand holding it. The wriggling is starting to come back to his fingers. Um, and yeah, he's not even going to bother because he sees you see this. He's gonna, and he's just gonna grab his arm again, and
But his other hand disappeared.
the hand doesn't disappear. One of his fingers is gone, and he's only got
Ah,
three. He's got like a typical toon hand of like four fingers. So he's got a pinky and a middle finger and a thumb. He's not got a pointer finger at the moment.
okay.
That's not on there. That's why. Cool, 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 do, 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 do. No, that's fine. Usually you would, but I won't in this case. Yeah, so he just reaches with his missing finger hand, clasps it again around his arm, and the shaking goes away. And he sighs and he hands the piece of paper out and says, "Look, if I give you one of my plants and he looks over at Sol and you and I'm gonna roll. Yeah, I'm gonna roll this. Okay. Cool, 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 cool. Where are your stats? Where are your stats? That again. Cool. Isn't it a +4 or a +2 for you? No, it's a +2. Cool, cool, cool. My word. Yeah, that explains it though. He holds this out and he looks at Sol, and you can see there is a clear hesitance on his face as he looks at Sol, just like a slight squinting of the eyes, and he looks back at you and says, "If I give you this with the promise you won't return to the premises or go to the rooftop to sequester away any more of my plants, I will give you a I will give you a batch of little experimental growths I've been working with, and um, says, and I'll I'll let Sol come and pick you up from school and take you home. How's that?"
There's. Oh boy. Uh, I feel. Alright. There's. There's a staring from Pan, and like. There's a little bit of a sly smile, and like. There's like the very bare start of a sentence of probably trying to haggle. I will admit.
Mm,
Uh, but
mm.
there's a pause. There's a lean back. There's a closing of the eyes, and Pan has been out for a while. Pan is not meant to be in the driver's seat for a while. There's a deep breath, a sort of rubbing at the eyes, kind of sleepy blink, a lean back forward, and just a, sure, I'll take it, and takes the piece of paper.
And as you do, Now very quickly takes his hand back and says, "All right, good. Give me just a moment." And he is very quickly. You know what? I'm gonna roll an athletics for him because he is trying to be zippy about it, and I'm gonna do it at advantage because he's gonna say, "Oh, could you give me a hand and get me the purple pouch on the left shelf, please?" And he is going off and gathering up some bits from the desk. He's going to get all of your plants together essentially. Um,
All right. Does Avery have to go get the?
6 on 6. It's just a 6. Right, cool. Um, he's struggling to find most of your plants. And Sol, despite their help, is not being incredibly helpful because it's just that plant, no that plant, no that plant, I like that plant, I want that plant, this plant's blue. Um,
Baby.
that is all they're doing right now, bud. So I will say with that, if you wanted, while Lao is distracted trying to find out which plants are which, you can do a thing if you want. You can do what you want. Um,
Alright. I will say,
some
just to make this fair, because Pan has been in the driver's seat for a while. That's a nat 20. Uh,
20.
I am going to add 1 point of exhaustion to Avery because that Pan is not meant to be in the driver's seat. Uh, not at all. Uh, so I need to go pull up exhaustion rules. Um, can
I
Avery
think it
easily?
just halves your movement speed with just the first level of exhaustion.
Uh, no, exhaustion is fucking brutal. Hold on.
Was it?
Oh,
Okay.
exhaustion is brutal.
Ooh.
Effect level 1, disadvantage on ability checks.
Oh. Oh,
Uh,
cool.
yeah.
Good.
Avery stands up with a little bit of a stretch, like more rubbing at the eyes. It's the purple pouch, obvious.
Well, Sol just rolled the nat 20 in finding the dang thing, so Sol has immediately clocked where it is, picked it up, and they hold it out to you. They hold it out to you, Avery. Um, whilst Lao is still kind of muttering to themselves and trying to just find the plants that are yours. He just can't tell which ones are which. He's got so many of them. He can't tell which is which. Wait, hang on. Did you grow that last week? No, that's from a month ago. No, 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 no. That's from 12 months ago. Hang on. Oh, give me just a moment.
It's okay. Uh, man, I will say for the recording, Pan will only be brought out in FPSs, no games. Unless I'm the one running the game. Then that's alright, but mostly it's just going to be FPSs because I hold up just a single thing.
No, sorry
Hi,
about that.
I was
My
talking.
mother came in for jelly beans.
Nice.
Yes.
But yeah, Avery kind of rubs at his eyes and takes the pouch and just goes, "Thanks." Wait, I should probably take the. Avery takes the plant actually out of the bag, and like sets it on the table.
Um,
at
I'm
least,
gonna
at
push
least
a
this,
little.
at least this is a good opportunity to clean up my room, so it isn't full of too many plants anymore.
Cool. Um, as you clunk that plant on the table, Lao says, "Thank you for putting that back. I was wondering if you would take that or not." And he just yeah, he just keeps going. He eventually gets basically all the plants that were Avery's together. Double checks them. Make sure there aren't any labels on them because if you were like if Avery takes a look around or has a look at all the multiple plants hanging from the ceilings and everywhere, they do actually have like little labels on them. But I don't know what languages Avery knows.
Hold on. Let me pull up Avery's languages. Most the other the only one that would probably like it's Sylvan. Avery knows
Hmm.
Sylvan.
Yeah, no, you won't know what these say then.
Eh,
They're in a weird language. You don't know what they say.
cause I'm
And
guessing they aren't in Quarry. Uh,
nope, really
yeah.
not. Um,
Actually, looking at the plants that Pan owns, they
mhm,
do have markers, but they're also those like those little keychain gacha tokens that you can
mhm.
get. Yeah, they're sort of like there's ones that are kind of like planted in different plants.
What?
Uh,
There's just like little gacha things sticking out of the soil of the plants. Like, you get those measuring sticks next to plants.
yeah, yeah,
It's
there
like that.
is, there is.
Oh, I love
Uh,
that.
and there are some like decently rare plants in this collection this middle schooler has, which could probably be correlated to the decently rare gotchas that are fucking placed in those
Mm.
pots. Uh,
Oh gosh. Okay, that's good. Um, Flowers looking at these, you probably know these are rare. and that was a wit save. He is. Oh, she's so dumb. He's gonna stop and look at Avery and say, "You know what? Just give me a moment." And he's gonna pop one of the rare plants that Avery has on the side, and he's gonna turn to look at him and says, "Would you consider a trade?"
Uh, no.
All right. I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna roll persuasion, and I'm gonna have Sol give help with this. Um, Lao's just gonna look at you and says, "All right, would you give a trade, please?" And Sol is just gonna come up behind Lao's shoulder, pop their head on Lao's shoulder, and their petals are gonna droop, and their face has gotten like the weird kind of Ghiblian shininess on it. They're giving you the poppy dog eyes. Um, if you allow me, can I roll advantage on a persuasion roll?
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
It's an 18.
It's an 18. I'm
You don't
taking the
have to
gotcha
take this, by
token.
the way. Sorry.
I will consider it, but you're not taking the gotcha token. That's mine.
And he immediately takes the gacha token out, hands it over to you, and says, "Choose whichever one you want, except for that one." And he pokes to something in the corner of the room you can't quite see, but you do hear a coming from it. I will take that one. And yeah, dealer's choice. What do you want? Um,
Oh,
I can tell you what you pick if you want.
uh, Avery, and by extension Pan, wants to choose the funkiest flower they can find.
Funkiest. Okay. If you're going with funky, you come across a flower. It looks kind of. You almost didn't think it was a flower from the way it was, but you do a double take, and yeah, that's a flower. It's got a lot. It's purely black. It almost looks like a lamppost. Except it's got like coloured. You thought was like coloured glass squares are actually petals. And if you touch one of the squares, the whole thing lights up in that color, and these squares are all different colors. Um, so you can touch a blue one and it'll all light up blue, or you can touch a red one and it'll all light up red. And if you touch it again, it just turned off. Um,
I want this one.
Lao just looks over and says, "Oh yes, the disco ball. Go ahead." And yeah, take it. Take it if you
There,
want it.
it's. I will say, I will just give loud to this. There has been a noticeable change in this middle schooler. They don't look as excited about plants anymore, but they still like kind of like look it up and appraise it. Uh, kind of like hold it close with one arm.
Mm.
It's their plant now.
Cool. Again, for reasons, Lao is not concentrating on this at the moment. He's just like, right, okay, that's that, and that's done, and that's that, and these are all yours. Um, and he hands a large burlap sack to Sol, and Sol bends their head down. He puts it around their neck and ties it, and turns back to Avery and says, "Right, well, Sol will escort you home, and then once you get there, all of your things are in there, and, well, if you see Sol again, you see Sol again, and remember, please never come back, either to here or to the rooftop, and that will be the last I see of you, I should hope." And he just gestures out through the doorway, uh, asking you to leave.
Pleasure doing business with you. And sort of like gives Soul like a pat and yeah, starts to leave.
Well, Sol is going to follow after you because Sol's got your stuff hanging around their neck in a burlap sack.
Yeah.
Um, and Lao's just going to pull himself along the wall with the vines and watch you go. The door is still broken, so you just fucking go through an archway out into the world. And as you go, Lao is just going to follow along until he sees you both walking down the hallway, and he's just going to say, Sol, drop the bag off and come straight home. Make no detours, please. Need you home tonight. And you're going to see him just roll himself back into the room, and you don't hear a door slam because the door's on the floor.
Listen. God. Also, would it be cool to end it here? Because it has been over
Yes.
2 hours.
Yes.
Whoops.
Yes, it has been 2 hours. We have gone 2.5 hours almost, holy peck.
Uh, whoops. I'm sorry.
Oops, we went. No, look, let's be fair. It's mostly it's equal ground here. We both kind of just went off and trailed.
God, it's been fun though. It's been fun.
It has been so good. I'm glad you had fun. Thank you
Yeah.
for playing with me. It's been great. Um, it's been a great damn time. I will say, Lao luckily has mending. I'm gonna make one last roll for him because I want to see what happens if he if he attempts this by himself. Um, yeah, not as much. He tries to lift up the door to put it in the doorway to fix the hinges, and he gets it like halfway, not even halfway off the ground. It's like a sliver off the ground before it thumps back onto the floor, and he's just, all right, fine, I'll wait till Sol gets home. And he just moves himself into the front room. And I guess we call it there.
Yeah, I will say, just for the recording, Avery is going to malicious compliance, just like the peck out of this. Literally, will sit on the sidewalk to go wait for Sol. Fully visible from outside. It's not on the property.
Oh my gosh! Magic, I need to talk to you about some things after this. I need to talk to you.
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye,
See
everyone.
you
Thank you
next
for
time.
listening. Farewell.